Aging is a natural part of life, but how we experience this process depends on the habits we cultivate. Have you ever felt like you aged suddenly, or that people started treating you differently? Aging is not just about time, it's also about appearance, social interaction, and health. What you might not realize is that some common habits could be making you look older, and even pushing people away. The problem is that we rarely receive honest feedback. Friends and family notice changes in your appearance, energy, or way of speaking, but they avoid commenting. As a result, many end up adopting habits that make them seem less vibrant and confident. The good news: all these habits can be corrected with simple changes. This is not a guide about chasing youth at any cost or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about preserving your presence, confidence, and respect at any stage of life. Imagine entering a room and feeling good about your appearance, your posture, and how people react to your presence. This is not just about vanity. It's about self-esteem, dignity, and ensuring that the world sees who you truly are, not just an age number. In the next few minutes, we'll explore 9 habits that might be accelerating your aging without you realizing it. These habits are not just superficial details. They affect your physical health, mental agility, and even your social life. Some might surprise you, others might be suspicions you've already had but ignored. What matters is that each of them has an impact on how others perceive you and, more importantly, on how you feel about yourself. And the best part? Fixing these habits doesn't require radical changes. You don't need to hit the gym every day, spend a fortune, or change everything. Small adjustments can make all the difference. Let's start with something that is often underestimated, but makes a huge difference: mental stimulation. Many people believe that cognitive decline is an inevitable consequence of aging, but the truth is that the brain works like a muscle. The more you challenge it, the stronger it becomes. On the other hand, if you don't exercise it, signs of mental aging will appear much sooner than expected. Think about it. Have you ever felt unmotivated, lacking energy, or struggling to keep up with a conversation? These could be signs that the first habit we're about to discuss is affecting you more than you realize. Now, let's begin. Lack of cognitive and mental stimulation. Have you ever felt like your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be? That sometimes words escape you mid-conversation? Or that tasks that used to be simple now seem to require more effort? This doesn't happen by chance. The brain, like any other muscle in the body, needs exercise to stay strong and active. The problem is that many people, as they age, start challenging their minds less and less. Without realizing it, they fall into a routine, stop learning new things, and end up accelerating cognitive decline. Frequent forgetfulness, difficulty keeping up with conversations, or even losing interest in new topics can be signs that your brain is going into autopilot mode. When we stop stimulating the mind, it loses speed, flexibility, and even resistance to aging. Cognitive decline is not inevitable. It can be delayed and often reversed with simple habits. Take the case of Jorge, a 72-year-old retiree who always had an excellent memory. For years, he worked at a company where he had to solve complex problems every day. But after retiring, he fell into a more monotonous routine, limited to watching TV and talking about repetitive topics. Over time, he began to notice that he was forgetting names, struggling to find words, and losing interest in learning about new technologies or changes in the world. He thought it was just part of aging, until a friend challenged him to do daily crossword puzzles. Within a few months, Jorge noticed a significant improvement in his mental agility. Science confirms it. Keeping the brain active reduces the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. But not just any activity will do. It needs to be challenging, involve, learning, and push you out of your comfort zone. If your mind has been feeling lazy, here's what you can do. Learn something new. It could be a language, a musical instrument, a new recipe, or even a hobby like painting or gardening. Constant learning keeps brain connections strong. Challenge your brain. Games like chess, crossword puzzles, and jigsaw puzzles are excellent ways to keep your mind active. Brain training apps can also be helpful. Stay updated. Reading books, watching documentaries, and following quality news help keep your brain active and your worldview broader. Talk to people of different ages and perspectives. Interacting with those who have different views helps challenge your thinking and prevents your mind from getting stuck in rigid patterns. Avoid mental routine. If every day you do the same activities without intellectual effort, your brain gets comfortable. Change your driving route. Try new recipes. Attempt to do something with your non-dominant hand. Anything that takes your mind off autopilot. To keep your mind young, the secret is to challenge yourself a little every day. If you neglect mental stimulation, decline can come faster than expected. But if you decide to strengthen your brain today, you'll not only have a sharper memory, but also a richer, more interesting life full of new possibilities. Neglecting physical health and nutrition. Taking care of your health isn't just about living longer, it's about living well. Over time, many people neglect their well-being without realizing it. The body needs maintenance, just like any machine. The problem is that most people only realize this when problems arise. One of the biggest culprits of accelerated aging is the lack of control over essential indicators like glucose, cholesterol, and blood pressure. Fatigue, joint pain, and insomnia aren't always just part of aging. Often, they're the result of habits that can be adjusted. Consider the case of Marta, a 65-year-old woman. For most of her life, she never had to worry about her diet. She always ate what she wanted without restrictions and never had apparent health issues. But over time, she began to feel constant fatigue and noticed that her skin was drier and less vibrant. She thought it was just a natural effect of aging, until a routine checkup revealed that her glucose levels were elevated. Her doctor explained that if she didn't change her diet and lifestyle, she could develop type 2 diabetes. It was a wake-up call that made her rethink her habits. The doctor prescribed a natural medication for Marta, which regulated her blood sugar levels, gave her more energy, and reduced her cravings for sweets, bringing more vitality to her daily life. If you want to know more about what the doctor prescribed for Marta, check the pinned comment. Uncontrolled glucose doesn't just affect internal health, it also impacts appearance and energy. Excess sugar in the blood accelerates glycation, a process that damages collagen fibers in the skin, making it more saggy and wrinkled. Additionally, irregular sugar levels can cause mood swings, excessive fatigue, and even cognitive difficulties. The same goes for high cholesterol and uncontrolled blood pressure, which significantly increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases. How to avoid these problems? Small daily changes make all the difference. Control your diet. Avoid excessive consumption of sugar, refined carbs, and ultra-processed foods. Prioritize natural foods like fruits, vegetables, legumes, and lean proteins. Drink more water. Dehydration is one of the main causes of dry skin, fatigue, and kidney problems. Many people don't realize they're not drinking enough water. Exercise regularly. You don't need to hit the gym every day, but keeping your body active is essential. Daily walks, stretching, and low-impact activities like yoga or Pilates help keep muscles and joints healthy. Monitor your glucose, cholesterol, and blood pressure levels. Regular checkups allow you to identify problems before they worsen. The sooner you know about an imbalance, the easier it will be to correct it without invasive treatments. Avoid excessive alcohol and tobacco. The consumption of these substances accelerates cellular aging, impairs blood circulation, and can lead to a range of complications. Taking care of your health shouldn't be optional or left for later. Small daily adjustments can ensure more energy, healthier skin, less pain, and a better quality of life. Aging well doesn't mean just accepting the body's changes, but actively working to make those changes the best they can be. Social isolation and lack of human connections. Being isolated is as harmful as eating poorly or not exercising. Studies show that loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, depression, and accelerates mental decline. The problem is that many people, as they age, start to withdraw from social interactions without realizing it. Their circle of friends shrinks, family gatherings become less frequent, and over time, loneliness sets in silently, draining energy and motivation for daily life. Consider the case of Roberto, a 70-year-old man who, after retiring, saw his routine change drastically. Before, he was always surrounded by co-workers, involved in meetings and informal conversations during the day. But over the years, he noticed that his social interactions were decreasing. Many friends were busy with their own routines or facing health issues. His children and grandchildren also had commitments, and he began spending more time alone at home. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal, but over time he started feeling more unmotivated, sleeping more than usual, and avoiding going out. What Roberto didn't know is that this lack of interaction was affecting his mental and physical health. Studies indicate that isolation can trigger high levels of stress, increasing cortisol production, a hormone that, in excess, can cause inflammation in the body, impair memory, and weaken the immune system. Additionally, the lack of social contact can lead to anxiety and depression, even in people who have never had these issues before. But how to prevent social isolation from becoming a reality? The answer lies in taking the initiative and creating opportunities for interaction, even if it seems difficult at first. Some effective ways include: maintain active contact with friends and family. Often, people don't call or visit because they think the other person is busy. Don't wait for others to always make the first move. Send messages, make calls, suggest meetups. Join social groups and activities. Getting involved in communities, clubs, or interest groups like dance classes, crafts, reading, or volunteering can help create new connections and keep the mind active. Explore new ways of interaction. If distance is an issue, technology can be a great ally. Learning to use social media, video calls, and even participating in discussion forums on topics of interest can help keep interactions alive. Adopt a pet. Caring for a pet can bring companionship, routine, and even encourage outdoor walks, promoting interactions with other people. Break the routine. Small outings like going to a different cafe, visiting a museum, or simply walking in a park can create opportunities to meet new people and break the cycle of isolation. Breaking. The cycle of isolation may require effort at first, but the benefits are enormous. Being around loved ones is good for the soul. It brings lightness, improves mood, and gives that wonderful feeling of belonging. After all, life becomes much richer when shared with others. Maintaining good social connections is essential for healthy aging. But what about the habits that might be aging you without you realizing it? Let's talk about that now. Neglecting hygiene and appearance matters to others and to you. But over time, many end up neglecting it without realizing it. Letting your hair grow without a proper cut, wearing worn-out clothes, or not caring about skin hydration might seem like insignificant details, but they end up conveying an image of tiredness and neglect. Antonio, a 74-year-old man, was always a bit vain. In the past, he loved being well-groomed, with his hair always neat and his clothes well-kept. However, after losing his wife, he started letting these habits slide. His clothes began to look baggy and worn, he shaved less frequently, and his hair went uncut for months. Gradually, he noticed that people around him started treating him differently. Friends gave fewer compliments, his grandchildren seemed less excited to take photos with him, and even his reflection in the mirror no longer pleased him. This happens because how we present ourselves to the world directly affects how others perceive us. Studies show that appearance influences not only how others see us, but also how we feel. When we are well-groomed, our posture changes, our confidence increases, and we radiate more positive energy. Neglecting these aspects doesn't just make you look older, it also conveys an image of disinterest and lack of vitality. But how to maintain a well-groomed appearance without spending too much time or effort? Some simple changes can make a big difference. Take care of your hair and beard. Keeping a modern haircut and a well-groomed beard can completely transform your appearance. It doesn't have to be fancy, just clean and well-maintained. Choose clothes that enhance your appearance. Often, we wear old clothes out of comfort or habit, but updating a few pieces can bring a fresh look. Opt for structured fabrics and well-fitted clothes that make you look more elegant and modern. Take care of your skin. Moisturizing your face and body daily helps prevent dryness and a tired appearance. Using sunscreen is also essential to prevent spots and wrinkles. Pay attention to personal hygiene. Well-trimmed nails, clean teeth, and using deodorant are small details that make a big difference in how others perceive you. Taking care of your appearance isn't about trying to look younger. It's about conveying an image of well-being and vitality. Small daily habits make all the difference in maintaining high self-esteem and a positive self-image. Taking care of your appearance matters. But what about how you communicate? Let's talk about that now. Speaking too loudly or interrupting conversations. Unintentionally, how you communicate can bring people closer or push them away, and sometimes we don't even realize it. Speaking too loudly, constantly interrupting, or dominating conversations are behaviors that, although unintentional, can be perceived as inconsiderate or impatient. The problem is that these habits often develop gradually, and few people have the courage to point them out directly. Consider the case of Ricardo, a 76-year-old man who always loved to talk. Since he was young, he was outgoing and engaging, and never had trouble expressing himself. However, over the years, he started speaking louder without realizing it. When he was at a restaurant, his voice stood out above others. At family gatherings, he would interrupt others without intending to be rude, just to share his opinion. Gradually, he noticed that people seemed less enthusiastic about talking to him. His grandchildren avoided long conversations. His friends seemed to lose patience more quickly, and he didn't understand why. What Ricardo didn't know is that many of these changes were linked to hearing loss. Over time, hearing can decline, and without realizing it, people start speaking louder to compensate for the difficulty in hearing. Additionally, with less exposure to diverse social environments, it can be harder to maintain sensitivity to the natural rhythm of conversations. The result? A communication style that can come across as invasive or exhausting to others. If you feel like people seem uncomfortable when you speak, or if you've noticed strange reactions to your tone of voice, it might be time to reevaluate how you're communicating. Some simple changes can make a big difference. Pay attention to the environment. If you notice others speaking more softly, try adjusting your volume to match the tone of the conversation. Observe people's reactions. If someone steps back or shows discomfort, it might be a sign that your voice is too loud. Practice active listening. Instead of focusing only on what you want to say, try to listen attentively and give others space to express their thoughts without interruptions. Use natural pauses in conversation. Wait for the other person to finish their thought before responding. This makes the conversation flow more smoothly. Get a hearing test. If you notice that you're constantly raising your voice, it might be a good time to check your hearing with a professional. Communicating well strengthens relationships and shows respect. Small adjustments make conversations lighter and more enjoyable. Now that we've talked about the importance of an appropriate tone of voice and balanced dialogue, let's move on to the next habit that might be aging your appearance without you realizing it: wearing outdated or sloppy clothes. How we dress is an extension of our identity and directly influences how others perceive us. The problem is that many people, as they age, stop updating their wardrobe and continue wearing clothes that no longer enhance their appearance. Wearing clothes that are too baggy, faded, outdated, or don't fit your current body can convey an image of neglect and age the perception others have of you. And worse, it can directly affect your self-esteem. Take the case of Helena, a 68-year-old woman who always had her own style but, over time, let fashion fall by the wayside. Her clothes were comfortable, but many were worn out or out of style. She didn't realize the impact of this until the day she attended her niece's wedding, and upon seeing the photos, felt that her appearance didn't reflect who she truly was. While others seemed lively and full of energy, she felt that her clothes made her look older than she felt inside. This happens because clothing has a strong psychological power. When we dress well, our posture changes, our confidence increases, and we feel more connected to the world around us. It's not about following fashion trends or trying to look younger. It's about choosing clothes that convey vitality and elegance without sacrificing comfort. If you feel like your wardrobe is stuck in time, some simple changes can make a big difference. Opt for well-fitted clothes. Clothes that fit your body without being too tight bring a more structured and modern appearance. Avoid faded or overly worn clothes. Even the most comfortable pieces need to be refreshed when they start losing their shine or structure. Choose colors that complement your skin tone. Some colors can brighten your appearance while others can make you look tired. Experiment with different shades and see which ones make you feel more alive. Invest in accessories. A modern watch, a colorful scarf, or a well-chosen pair of glasses can transform a simple outfit into something sophisticated. Don't be afraid to try something new. Often, we get stuck in a style out of habit, but experimenting with new combinations can bring a fresh look. You don't need to overhaul your entire wardrobe. Small adjustments to a few pieces can make a big difference in your image and self-esteem. Dressing well isn't about trying to look younger, it's about aligning with your best self. Slouched posture and closed body language. How we move and position ourselves says a lot about us, often before we even open our mouths. Your posture says a lot about you, to others and to yourself. Over time, many people start slouching without noticing. Slumped shoulders, a lowered head, dragging steps, and restrained gestures can convey an image of tiredness, fragility, or lack of enthusiasm, even if the person doesn't feel that way internally. Take the case of Elenis, a 72-year-old woman who was always active and full of energy but started noticing that people were constantly offering her help, even when she didn't need it. She was puzzled when a supermarket clerk insisted on carrying her groceries or when friends started speaking to her more slowly and carefully. One day, after seeing a photo of herself taken at an event, she understood why. Her posture was slouched, her shoulders were slumped, and her expression conveyed tiredness. She didn't feel fragile, but her body was saying otherwise. This happens because body language directly influences how others perceive us. Studies show that people with upright posture and open gestures are seen as more confident, energetic, and even younger. Additionally, good posture improves breathing, prevents muscle pain, and even contributes to better brain function. If you feel like your posture isn't what it used to be, some actions can help correct it. Be mindful of your posture throughout the day. Whenever you're sitting or standing, imagine an invisible string pulling your head up, naturally aligning your spine. Practice daily stretching. Simple stretching exercises help maintain flexibility and prevent slouching from becoming a permanent habit. Strengthen your muscles. Activities like Pilates, yoga, or even regular walks help strengthen the muscles that support your spine and prevent back pain. Keep your gaze on the horizon while walking. Many people develop the habit of looking down while walking, which contributes to a slouched posture. Try to keep your gaze forward, aligned with the horizon. Use more open and expressive gestures. Crossing your arms or keeping your hands in your pockets can make your presence seem closed off. Small adjustments, like using your arms more while speaking, help convey more energy and confidence. Correcting your posture and body language isn't just about aesthetics. It's about well-being and presence. By moving with more awareness, you'll not only appear younger and more confident, but also feel stronger and more balanced internally. Excessive complaining or being overly negative. How do you feel when you talk to someone who constantly complains? Whether it's about the weather, the behavior of younger generations, politics, or any other topic, constant negativity can make a conversation exhausting. The problem is that many people don't realize they've fallen into this pattern. For them, they're just being honest or expressing a sincere opinion, without noticing that this behavior might be pushing others away and even affecting their own mental health. Take the case of Paulo, a 73-year-old man known for his honesty and strong opinions. At first, his comments about how things were better in the past were just a small part of his conversations. But over time, friends and family started avoiding long interactions with him. His children made shorter visits. His grandchildren seemed less excited to talk, and even his friends seemed impatient. One day, during a family lunch, his grandson asked, "Grandpa, do you like anything?" The question caught him off guard. He had never seen himself as a negative person, but realized he rarely praised anything or showed enthusiasm for new things. Constant complaining pushes people away and can even make you age faster. Studies show that constant negative thoughts increase cortisol production, the stress hormone which can accelerate inflammatory processes in the body and even contribute to heart and neurodegenerative issues. Additionally, pessimism can reinforce feelings of isolation, as people naturally tend to avoid environments filled with complaints and criticism. If you've been complaining too much and conversations have become shorter and less enjoyable, it might be time to change that. Here are some ways to balance your opinions and make your conversations lighter and more pleasant. Practice daily gratitude. Before bed, try to remember at least 3 good things that happened during your day. It could be something simple, like a pleasant conversation or a well-made coffee. Replace criticism with curiosity. Instead of saying, "Things were better before," try, "Things have changed. I'm curious to understand how they work now." Balance. Negative comments with positive ones. If you need to criticize something, try to compliment it with a positive point. For example, "I don't like this new song, but I like that people still gather to listen to music together." Listen more and talk less about what bothers you. Often, we get so caught up in our own negative thoughts that we forget to ask about the others' lives. Asking about the interests and stories of friends and family can change the dynamic of interactions. Avoid consuming negative news all the time. While it's important to stay informed, too much negative news can reinforce a pessimistic mindset. Try balancing it with inspiring reads or content that brings a lighter perspective on life. Changing your communication isn't about faking optimism. It's about balancing your interactions to make them lighter and more meaningful. How you express yourself has a direct impact on how people perceive your presence and the quality of your relationships. Neglecting oral hygiene and body odor. Few things can affect a social interaction as immediately as personal hygiene. The problem is that many people don't realize when something is off. Bad breath and body odor are delicate issues, because rarely will someone close to you have the courage to point them out. However, these factors can affect how others perceive you and even interfere with your self-esteem. Consider the case of Francisco, a 75-year-old man who always loved to talk. He enjoyed telling stories, attending family gatherings, and being surrounded by friends. However, he started noticing that people kept a certain distance during conversations and that meetups seemed to end faster than before. He didn't understand why until one day his daughter subtly offered him a mint before dinner and commented, "This might help keep your breath fresh after meals." That's when he realized something needed to change. What Francisco didn't know is that as we age, saliva production can decrease, leading to dry mouth and, consequently, bad breath. Additionally, some common medications for blood pressure, diabetes, and other health conditions can affect body and breath odor. Another factor many people don't realize is that clothing fabrics can retain odors even when they seem clean, especially if not washed properly. The good news is that maintaining impeccable hygiene doesn't require much effort. Small daily habits can prevent embarrassing situations and ensure your presence is always pleasant. Here are some essential tips. Stay hydrated. Dry mouth is one of the main causes of bad breath. Drinking plenty of water throughout the day stimulates saliva production, helping to keep your breath fresh. Take complete care of your oral hygiene. Brushing your teeth after every meal, daily flossing, and using alcohol-free mouthwash are essential habits. The tongue also accumulates bacteria that can cause bad breath, so brushing it daily makes a big difference. Monitor your diet. Foods like garlic, onions, and coffee can leave a lingering odor in your mouth. Reducing their consumption, especially before social events, can help. Use effective deodorants and switch fragrances regularly. Your body can get used to a deodorant over time, reducing its effectiveness. Alternating between different brands can help maintain odor protection. Wash clothes carefully. Items like jackets, scarves, shirts, and even hats can retain body odors even after a few washes. Using white vinegar in the washing machine can help eliminate sweat residues and persistent odors. Visit the dentist regularly. Often, bad breath can be caused by dental issues like cavities or gum disease. Seeing a dentist at least once a year can help detect and resolve these problems before they worsen. Hygiene isn't just about aesthetics. It's about respect for yourself and others. Small daily care ensures confidence and a pleasant presence. Small changes, big results. Aging doesn't mean losing vitality, presence, or respect from others. In fact, what really makes a difference isn't age, but the habits we cultivate over time. As we've seen so far, small daily changes can transform how others perceive you and, more importantly, how you feel about yourself. Many of these changes happen subtly, without us noticing. Perhaps you've noticed that your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be, that your posture has become a bit slouched, or that conversations with friends and family don't flow as they once did. The good news is that each of these aspects can be worked on and improved with simple actions. Each habit may seem small, but together they shape how you feel and how the world sees you. Aging well isn't about turning back time. It's about making choices that bring more energy, self-esteem, and quality of life. And for more quality of life, don't forget to check the pinned comment. So, which of these changes can you start today? It could be something simple: improving your posture, exercising your mind, or paying more attention to your appearance. The important thing is to take the first step. Aging isn't about disappearing, it's about evolving. With small daily changes, you continue to be seen, heard, and respected. Did you like these tips? Then share them with someone who can also benefit. Let's spread this message together and ensure aging with more dignity, vitality, and confidence.